Okay, all you grifters and reptilian shapeshifters, all you van dwellers and sheep smellers, we've got some interesting stuff here. I am going to talk about my attempts to turn things with dead batteries into functional devices again by butchering USB packs whose charging caper has died. Well, maybe not the charging caper, but the ability to charge anything USB, which is the entire damn point of a USB battery. Well, I bought this little thing. It worked all right for one or two charges. I gave it a second charge and left it for an hour, and I thought, maybe we'll just whack it on a little bit more. You know, the batteries, those of you who know, who have dealt with this stuff for a while, will know that you sort of build up a ability to hold a charge inside a lithium polymer or something like that, or lithium ion. And it's sort of one of these things, I think more so with lithium polymer, that when you sort of flatten it really low and fully recharge it, if you sort of keep whacking it on charge when it's only 30% or 25% or something like that, you won't really build that capacity. If you flatten it, fully charge, flatten it, fully charge, over about 5 periods, you increase your capacity because it's like stretching itself as it's a new battery. Now, I bought a little USB-powered water pump, which you guys, I don't think, ever saw for the van when I turned the van into a camper van. And, I plugged it into one of these. I think it was the bigger one, actually. And it just killed it. It outright bloody killed it. And I see people show, you can get this, these ones, they'll shut themselves off. And what you do is you put a bit of charge into the battery and it'll reset itself, and then you can get more USB power again. But when you initially short it out, it shuts itself off. Well, maybe the good ones, not these things. Anyway, yeah, that just killed it. And lo and behold, a week or two later, this just died of its own accord. Intriguingly, this one, as I was saying, charged it twice. Try to get a bit more charge into it with the hope that, maybe it'll take a little bit more charge. By charging it up an hour after the second charge, and what did it do? The old classic. Those of you who don't know, see her, she's all bloated up. It should be nice and flat like this one. She bloated up. If you keep charging from that point, it'll go bang and it'll be pouring steam out the end and it'll like burst out the little bag. But that's a sign of overcharge. With a lot of these batteries, you'll think they're fine, and it's just a bare battery. And what you'll see is they've got this yellow tape that they use and blasted everything, and they wrap up this little charge control chip or whatever these two things are here. Two little chips, and I believe I've got a resistor that end, and a resistor and what looks like a ceramic next to it there, and where my fingernail is. Anyway, whatever the hell that is, it didn't bloody save it. So that was out of this one here, and 3.7 volts, 90 milliamp hour, or 0.33 watt hour. So that was the end of that, and I couldn't get any charge out of it, and it'd work for a few minutes after charging it, like directly within the first 5 minutes or so. And I was trying that out, and I realised that this, even disconnected, it slowly drops 0.1 of a volt over time, and it's a dead duck basically. I wondered what I was going to do, and then I realised that I could just cut the wires and put a bit of electrical tape on, and we should be all right. And I thought, well, now I've got to get those and power them up with one of these batteries. Then I realised I can actually just plug in a USB battery, like so, and then I'll just actually run the light, and it that sounds all right. She goes for about an hour and a half, and it spits the dummy, turns itself off. And then you put the same battery in, it does it again. try a different battery, it might be all right, but ultimately it doesn't like it, and yeah, it doesn't go too well with it. So I ascertained a few things with the old multimeter bought back in 1998. That's right, not made in China. It's actually made in Taiwan. Blasted brilliant. It's only, honestly, it's on like a second battery. Got a 9-volt battery in it. But yeah, what I come to realise was, depending on your brightness level, this ring light runs between 2.4 and 2.7 volts. Now that's your green and your red coming out of here. But when you charge this battery, it takes, I think it's 4.4 volts coming in. So comes in at 5, charges the battery at 4.4, lets it out of the battery at 3.7. Strangely enough, these here are your classical 18650s, which don't want to focus. There you go. It says 3.6. I don't get that. Anyway, comes out at 3.6 and runs it at 2.4 to 2.7. All of this is a couple of little chips under this and a few resistors. Those of you wondering how you get these open, because classically people can't get them open, try and get either the bottom corner or the top corner on the end furthest away and just get your knife in, and don't stab in, just come in from an edge, like as in basically just get your knife and just but be very bloody careful. It's as tight as hell. Don't stab yourself. Don't cut your finger off, and don't stab the cell. I am not responsible for any dickheadisms you may do. This side here, this one, yeah, basically just won't take a charge. 3.7, 300 milliamp hour. But these are brilliant little lights. And yeah, so the funny thing with these is they'll actually take a charge, but they won't give power out. And so I try to put a bit of charge into them, and they seem to be just warming up a little bit. When I was touching the case, I could feel there's a bit of warmth. Not much though. But I think when they first died, I also tried to fully charge them, or basically speaking, they hadn't, like they were both about halfway anyway. But the thing is, they'll take a charge, and if you watch this little turkey here, if I put the like so, well, it wants to bloody go in because I've probably got it in the wrong way. Bugger it, I'll do the other one. Bingo. See, she lights up. It'll only do that as it's taken power. So if I pull the plug, give it 3 or 4 seconds, it should drop again. Hopefully this stupid ass thing isn't rotating on you. Sorry if it is, because it seems to be on me recording end here. That'll go out, and then put it in. And bingo, she lights up again. So these will take a charge, but they won't let it charge out. But you know what? I really need some lights to play ball. I really do. And these are already geared to go at 3.6 volts. So you know what this means? It means these two little wires here, bump, bump, and the job's done. I can still charge. I got no idea what the damn level is because all the LEDs are dead, including your little torch underneath there. But I can still charge this normally. So if I charge it through this plug, it will charge itself. I don't know, leave it on for a few hours every once in a while, you know. And this one here, hook those onto there, and that's it. Now, how am I going to do that? Am I going to make a big mash up? No, I'd like to put the cover back on. So I've got a bit of a smarter idea here. Phones, I don't exactly have a landline, do I? Phone cable. What do we got sitting right there? Yeah, you know what that is. So there we go. I'll be able to use that as a plug to plug this in. I'll wire one of those up and I'll have the lead hanging out. Or I'll wire up, you know, the other way around. There's different ways of getting around doing these things. Sometimes you find other circuit boards which have got nice little plugs and cables and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's probably how I'm going to do that. Yeah, I was hoping, and I have been thinking, I've got other lights that are 4.5 volt. This has a little carriage piece, like a so, that takes 3 AAAs. And what you do is you slide it in, and you got a little cap that fits over there, and it slides in down there. Now, what I think I can do, you see little copper tabs, that's what the little springs on the carrier touch. I think I can get those 2 screws out, because lo and behold, just as the other end comes off, it looks like this end wants to. And I think I'll take those 2 screws out, and we'll be good. That's 4.5 volts. The question is, can I get something like this, plus some spare USB cables, and just hardwire the thing straight in and whack this in, because that's as flat as hell, and quite frankly, will probably sit on the strap, and I can just leave this sitting on my head on the strap. I could even make another, sew a little carrier up for it, sew a little bag that hangs on the back. It's no big deal. Flick the sewing machine on and off we go, make a little bag up. Whatever. You know. Anyway, I could probably even make up something which is just a big mess of zip ties and make a carrier up that way. Here's another one. This is a flippin' ripper, this one. That doesn't look as bright there because the battery's nearly flat. But once again, that's 4.5 volt. And this one's even better, because she's got a remote control that comes with it. I'm not joking. You've probably seen them at this point anyway. But there's something else before I finish up here that I would like to point out, which is quite an interesting little thing. I had a fan and light combo, and it didn't really seem to want to take a charge terribly well. When I got it, it sort of took a charge, and then it wasn't sort of going to run as long next time. So they're probably not great, but I got to show you this because it blew me away. Here it is. Fan, and in the center of that, you got a light. Can you bloody believe it? You're seeing that completely right. That is springs in the back, and it really didn't look like it had much contact in the front. So I've gone and whacked the bits of foil in there. But that is 2 18650s with a very bad camera that doesn't want a blasted focus. Alright. Literally held in a standardised battery carrier with springs on the back like you'd find in a torch. And they got the entire circuit to not only take a charge as it is now, as you can see the little red LED, but also to give out 1 amp of USB power straight off of these 2. And I can just pull those batteries out and change them over with some other 18650s. And the whole circuit board is absolutely minuscule. Absolutely minuscule. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't make it up. This is something that has there and there 2 screws that go into the back, and just trying to mount my little thing here. And once you're done taking those screws off, you find that these are just held in like a blimmin' battery carrier in a torch. They're not spot welded on, they're not permanently in, they're sitting in. I literally took both of those out before. You can't make this shit up. Here's another concept too. Little Samsung. This is an old ass flip phone. I think it's my father's old one. But cell made in Japan. Oh yeah. What do we got? 3.7 lithium ion. what do we also got? Little prongs. I might be able to solder onto those. Or can I take the back of the cell phone apart here, lift this back part of the case off with the screws. Might be one there, one there, one there, one there. There's one there and one there. And then just solder wires straight onto the back. Drill a hole in the case, feed the wires back through. And guess what? We've still got the old 12 volt Samsung charger sitting right there. And then basically, you know, just use this Samsung battery. Japanese made cell. Eat your heart out. So yeah. You wonder with a lot of these things, whoa, it might have just powered itself up. Didn't intend for that. I'll have to turn that one off. She'll complain about lack of SIM card. Yeah, here we go. Anyway, this is some of the ideas that go through your head, and some of the things that you think about and try and do. Can I run 4.5 volt lights made to have 3 AAA batteries off of a 5 volt USB battery? Can I get other 18650s, cut the bloomin' spot welded tabs off and charge them inside this charger? Can I do a bit of rearranging myself to some other lights with dead batteries? I've also got a couple of tablet batteries which are looking damn good as well. So, you know, we'll have to see where all this leads.